Hey guys, Marsingan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so with the worldwide celebration fast approaching, going to be starting here in a few days time. I think we're on 3 days now on the countdown login screens. I know a lot of people out there are wondering a couple of things. What kind of content are we going to be getting? How much content? And of course, the thing that goes hand in hand with that is how many stones are we going to be getting for the worldwide celebration? Because obviously, especially if you are a global player, we've been going through it lately with banner after banner after banner, dropping big units like Tech UI Goku, Topo, who I know is a bit of an easier skip, but then straight into Cell Max as well. Tech UI Goku and Cell Max, two very popular and very powerful units that I know people really wanted to summon for. And hey, people out there were hyped for Topo because of his potential for his team build with the LR Ginyu Force, the new LR Jiren coming out and stuff like that. So Global's been going through it. We got LR Broly and the LR Super Saiyan Goku, Gohan and Trunks coming out very soon. Now, obviously, we're going to do a breakdown of the entire celebration. So if you're sat on a small handful of stones right now, obviously you're not going to be getting all of these stones right at the beginning when the Part 1 banners come out. But we're going to take a look going by last year, the 2023 Worldwide Celebration campaign that was based around the Future Saga, and basically break down what kind of stuff we got during that celebration, how many stones we got, and then obviously we can compare that directly to what we can expect for this year. Because I did a video during the anniversary. There was a brief period where the pacing had kind of changed for Global, and there was a few days in a row where we didn't get any content. People on social media and in the comment sections and stuff were complaining that the anniversary seemed dry. And I did a breakdown video going over the 8th anniversary compared to the 9th anniversary, and we saw that the amount of content, although some of the pacing, like in terms of the day-to-day release, was a bit different, we basically got the exact same amount of content. So that being said, we can take a look back at the 2023 Worldwide Celebration. I think I said 2022 one a minute ago, but we can take a look back at the 2023 Worldwide Celebration, and that will give us a decent idea of what we're going to get. And it's only going to be minorly different if there is a little bit less, or hopefully a little bit more in terms of content. So do go ahead, hit that like button on the video if you find any of this information useful. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are well on the road to 30k subs, and there's going to be tons of worldwide content coming over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for all the updates right here. So first, we look at the countdown celebration. Now, countdown campaigns are always fairly scarce. We already are in the middle of this, in fact, getting closer to the end now. So we know everything that we're getting. We've got the countdown logins. We've started to get the tickets, including the one from the daily social media button thing on the homepage. The ticket banners have released, and obviously there are stone versions of those. I would not recommend summoning on those. The returning players campaign, which obviously has been going on as already as well. Then we got the bumper crop lettuce harvesting thing. Obviously this time we have the going camping with Gohan one, but it's basically the same thing. You can get 1, 3 or 7 stones on login every day. Now randomly JP got a Super Battle Road stage during the countdown to the Worldwide Celebration. I don't believe that is the case this time around. But then the interesting thing that is different this time is it seems like we got the first stage of the Dismal Future Red Zone. I think it might have been the first 2, actually. It was the androids and Cell. And I remember everyone going crazy how hard Cell seemed to be on day 1. I think people weren't quite expecting that level of difficulty from a turn 1 boss. But this actually came out during the countdown celebration. And then the ticket banner was out at the same time as well. So that's an interesting change that we obviously haven't seen here. No actual like big events have come out. Now, of course, with the way the end game content is kind of shifted now, I'm expecting we will probably get a Supreme Battle Spectacle, Supreme Magnificent Battle. Although it does seem like Supreme Magnificent Battle is more geared towards super types, and then Red Zone is extreme types. So we could get a Red Zone. It's tough because we've already got 2 different movie boss ones. So I don't know how they would do like a new Broly one or something. So potentially a Supreme Battle Spectacle one where we fight against the heroes from a bunch of the movies. That would be cool. So obviously that will have to be, we'll wait and see when the actual main content comes out. And then we had some story events and like the super strikes and stuff coming back, Extreme Z areas coming back, and then obviously all the stuff that we've got now like the boost and the rank XP. And of course we have the countdown login screens. So we're currently in the process of that. There's no major change here other than a small bit of release of content. Obviously, we did get, as part of the countdown this time around, the LR Turles Army EZA. So in terms of like stone for stone comparison, we're already off to a better start with the countdown for this worldwide celebration. So then if we move on to part 1, so when the worldwide celebration officially starts, which should be on the 28th, there was a ton of content. Obviously, we have all the normal daily logins, all that kind of stuff. The banners, we know from the announcement from the video that got put out the other day, that is a Dokkan X Carnival format. So we have the Dokkan Fest, Goku, Gohan and Trunks, and then the Carnival Broly. We don't know what the summonings will be like for those. Like, a lot of people are speculating maybe we get the thing from Global Anniversary Part 1 with the 3 multis, a free one, then 3 multis, and the third one is guaranteed featured, and they're all discounted all along the way. Who knows? I think it could be, the worldwide could be when they debut the new summoning system that they talked about, that will be shared on both versions once the sync is over. But of course, that is something that we will have to wait and see. There should be purchasable tickets for this. Obviously, it has 3+1, all that good stuff. Yeah, this is what the purchasable packs, obviously they'll be called something different. The new Dokkan events, I mean, Broly's one will be, well, Broly is a Carnival LR, so he'll use existing medals. When we find out what those are, I will obviously let you guys know in a video. Probably be like the day before they come out, once we get the data download and everything. But the Goku, Gohan and Trunks, obviously being a unique now pairing of characters, or trio of characters, will get their own Dokkan event. Then we did get the Awakening support campaign, so there will be missions, so you can get a bunch of the extra medals. The good thing about this is that, especially with the Carnival LR like Broly, you don't necessarily need to pre-farm the medals, because you can get a bunch of them from these missions. But again, all of that info will be in the data download, so I'll be able to let you guys know what medals you get from the missions, and then what, if any, extra ones you do need to get yourself, because you can always grab those ones early if they're the ones for Broly. So we have the collecting for the 50 ticket summon. Again, this is something that has not been, I think, confirmed for this worldwide, but will probably be the case. Or, as we talked about in the Memorial Stones video, they could end up doing the same thing they did for the anniversary, where we save up the tickets for this 50 unit summon, and then you can do it on one of the actual main 4 banners, which would be awesome. That was a massive change for the anniversary that I think a lot of people really enjoyed, because a lot of people pulled Beast or Gogeta or Broly off of those 77 ticket summons. Sadly, I did mine on the Gamma's banner and still didn't get them, but you know, is what it is. So co-op missions, we know there is a co-op campaign. We've seen that in the reveal video already as well. Then we had the social media button, so we've got that for the moment during the countdown, which gives you the tickets for the worldwide banners. But during the worldwide part 1, it then changed to being stones available per day, so obviously very useful. Keep an eye out for that one. Then obviously the 50 special summon. The banner appears even though you don't have all the tickets, and then I think there is normally a stone version as well, although I wouldn't recommend summoning on that until you're done with all the 4 main banners, if you still want to try summoning on it. Ticket banner, obviously. Then we have the Memorial Stones. We'll be getting those on the 28th as well. Redstone will be given out. We've already got those actually as part of the countdown. I think more will be available during the worldwide, because we got an odd number, and some of the character packs are you need more than, like, there's like 1, 2 or 3, so more of those will be available. The purple stone, obviously this is the thing that comes with, if you purchase a specific pack of stones, you get a purple stone, which can give you a bunch of Dokkan Fests. And then there's the like super premium stone that can get you one of the LR packs as well. But all of those are purchasable stuff. Big sales. The worldwide celebration always has massive amounts of sales that like rival the anniversary. And then we start getting the events, right? So we got the free-to-play event that gave us a new free-to-play farmable Trunks that had the new mechanic, because of course the worldwide last year introduced domains. So the free-to-play Trunks had a domain. This year, we haven't seen all the details yet, but we've seen that stuff in the data about new mechanics involving like Dragon Balls in the orb field and stuff like that. So if that is going to be a new mechanic that is debuting for the worldwide celebration, then whoever the farmable character is probably going to have that mechanic as well. So that's very interesting. Then they added a new stage to an old event, which gave an old STR Trunks, an Awakening, and then EZA. We could see something like this for like an older Broly, although I don't think there are really any Z Brolys. We talked about some of the free-to-play second coming characters in that video I did the other day about who could EZA during the worldwide celebration. But story celebration stuff here. Then we had a limited attempts once per day event that was basically just for getting a bunch of stones. Then we had a once every 7 days event, which was for skill orbs. Obviously, you know, this could be for movie bosses or whoever the superclass character is going to lead. Then we had the new challenge event, Divine Wrath and Mortal Will. So this was the worldwide exclusive one. Early stages were pretty easy, and then we started getting to like Merge Zamasu was a little bit tougher. We had that Vegito Blue stage where kind of like the Blue Kaioken Goku that we have from the Universe Survivals, the Superhero Blue Zone. It's super hard hitting boss, hits hard from turn 1, can double super, but can be attack lowered. That was kind of interesting. And then, of course, the later stage against the Sword of Hope Trunks was actually quite difficult at the time as well. So we definitely could get something like this, which could be themed around, like, Goku versus Broly, or any kind of, like, movie bosses versus movie heroes. Who knows exactly? I mean, it could be, as stages get added throughout the entire celebration, we could have a couple of stages for movie 8, a couple of stages for movie 10, and then even a couple of stages for Bio Broly. The funny thing is, if they release them in sequential order for the movies, that means the hardest stage in this event, potentially, will be against a Bio Broly, which is quite funny. Then, yeah, this will feature Red Zone. So, again, we'll either get a new Red Zone with some kind of Broly or Extreme setup, but I think it's more likely we'll get Supreme Magnificent Battle against movie heroes from the 3 Broly movies, which is certainly very interesting. Of course, we could get a Red Zone with, well, we did get a Bio Broly one already. So yeah, I think it's more likely to be Supreme Magnificent Battle, and it will be versus like characters from movie 8, movie 10, and Bio Broly. Then, of course, the Kai Banner Worldwide Celebration Special Edition Ultimate Clash. We know we already have the part 1 of that as part of the Countdown celebration. And then there'll be a part 2 one. You can see if you go into the menu now, it resets in 12 days. So that'll be a little bit into the Worldwide Celebration. We get the part 2. And then, of course, bunch of events returning, stamina, all that stuff. So then we go into part 2. Part 2 of the celebration, obviously missions. Then we went into the double carnival. This will, of course, be another Dokkan Fest X carnival, which as of right now, we have no idea who that's going to be. Now, obviously, because it was 2 carnivals last time, there was no new Dokkan event, but part 1 had 2 new Dokkan events, whereas this one will have 1 for the Dokkan Fest, and then the Carnival will use existing medals. The banner, this is like listed again because it's basically the 2 main banners are now up, but without the 3+1 because the part 2 banners are out. So that'll just be the Broly and Goku, Trunks and Gohan banner again. Ticket packs for part 2, more sales for part 2. The special edition daily capsule, we've already seen that in the news. That comes out on, I think it's the 9th. Or the 14th of September, which is around the same kind of time, midway through the celebration. So if your daily capsule thing is about to expire, make sure you check the thing in the news for this, because you don't want to renew your one like a couple of days before the discount one starts. Then more tickets for the 50 tickets thing, more mission rewards for the special events, the co-op campaign, social media, new limited attempts event for 3 attempts per week for leveling up skill links. Yeah, leveling up links. I was going to say link orbs then, but leveling up characters links. So good link leveling event. We always love those. Then we got our first EZAs. It's actually kind of interesting to look back that in part 1 of the celebration, I forgot to mention the Zamasu and Trunks, but these were the 2 EZAs in part 1, 2 Dokkan Fest exclusives. So for the worldwide, from what we know so far, obviously the 2 big picks we want to see is Tech Broly or Int Broly. I don't know if we would get both of them at the same time, but there were 2 EZAs in part 1. Then in part 2, we had the Future Gohan. We had a burst mode, updates to the story events, obviously adding new stages to all of the new stuff that came out. A new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball History, Extreme Z Battle for a bunch of these side banner characters. It's interesting because for the Broly, like for movie 8 especially, there's not a lot of characters left that need EZAs. But of course, we know from the video that the theme of the celebration is just the Broly movie in general. And then, of course, we got this one as well with the Vegito Blue and Rose. So, I mean, the amount of EZAs that we got during this worldwide celebration was actually crazy. Like, some of them weren't great. Some of them were good. It was a bit of a mixed bag. But a lot of EZAs during this celebration. And as you can see, there were a lot of them in part 2. And then part 3, obviously the kind of ending, closing down of the celebration. Just an update to all the bunch of stages. We got the Int Goku Black EZA, which, of course, very controversial because that was not very good at the time of release. There was some later events that came out, especially then when physical Rose was available, events that were a bit longer and not as hard at the start, where he was okay, but he released in the meta where the Dismal Future Blue Zone, Red Zone was like all the bosses are hitting super hard turn 1, and he wanted to be fighting super class enemies. So not great, but hopefully we'll see something better. They've been on point with the EZAs a lot more this year, so I'm looking forward to all of the worldwide EZAs. More stages being added to all the events, new support memory boost, the Extreme Z areas for obviously the free-to-play units, because whoever they are in this campaign will end up getting an EZA. Of course, there won't be a chain battle, RIP chain battle. The EZA for LR Rose, which is pretty good. Another limited attempts event once per day, so you can get a bunch of extra stones. Then we had the 50 ticket special summon. Obviously, the final tickets became available. So that's just a quick scroll through. We haven't gone into detail with like all the stages, all the missions, all that stuff. But as you can see, the worldwide celebration does come packed with quite a lot of content, quite a lot of EZAs. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, almost more than the new units, just to see who's going to get these EZAs and what they're going to be like. Int Broly and Tech Broly are very high on the list. They're the top of the list. They're the two units I want EZAs for. Probably the most in the game at the moment, especially tied into this kind of celebration. With the new Broly being a base Broly that transforms, they both go on his team without any confliction. Obviously, the Tech Broly has the same name as the AGL Broly from the anniversary, but obviously we can make that work. So very, very interested to see. Now, overall then, how many stones? This is the stone breakdown from the 2023 Worldwide Celebration. So the Countdown campaign, we had the login bonus, the missions, the login thing. Obviously this is different for everyone because it's a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 49. I don't know, and if you were insanely lucky and got 7 every day. The couple of red zone stages with missions gave 12. Now we've had, instead of this, and I guess these kind of add up to what, 23, 29. So actually these 3 events at the bottom here add up to basically the stones that we got from the Turles EZA. So this is actually almost exactly the same. So it's the JP numbers. There's about 70 stones from the Countdown celebration. Then part 1, all the login bonus, the Dokkan Fest, all these new events, all the missions, all this stuff. 384 stones available in part 1. So bear in mind, this is including hitting top grossing and getting 30 stones. So if you're someone going into the worldwide with very few stones, but you really want to summon for Broly or the new Super Saiyan Trio, should be getting around 400 stones in the entirety from now until the end of part 1. So that's very good. And then we went into part 2, all the other events that we mentioned, new stages being added, a bunch of EZAs, which are a good earner for stones. That added up to almost 300. And then part 3, the last few stages of events being added, a couple more EZAs, that added up to almost 300 as well. Global got the 3000 days special event, which had a bunch of extra stones. JP did not. They had the golden weekend missions instead, I guess, to kind of balance it out. So you can see there was a bit of a difference between Global and JP. That will probably be the same this time because, of course, we won't get the 3000 days celebration for Global. Both versions could get the like weekend special missions at some point. So we'd probably be looking more at the JP number, which is about 260. So you can see here the overall number of stones for the worldwide celebration for last year. Global got 1010, JP got 994. The events are not going to be largely different this year, so we are looking at basically 1,000 stones if we include the countdown, and this is with the bare minimum luck for that login bonus thing as well. So if there's been any days where you get 3 or 7 stones already, then you're on pace to get slightly more than these. So the worldwide celebration should give out around about 1,000 stones. There is tons of content, loads of EZAs. I personally can't wait to see what it all is. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What are you looking forward to the most? Will you be summoning for the banners? Will you be holding off? I know the 10th anniversary is going to be both versions at the same time in February, and that's going to be a big one. What are your guys' thoughts on everything worldwide related? Let me know in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.